Hi everyone, welcome to the next episode of Fork or Spork. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the Starlight fork, why I recommend it quite significantly, and why it should probably be aired with a side of caution at the moment. Because for all of its goodness and all of its, amazing roleplay I've had, it's currently in a state of flux. For those of you who don't know, Lil had made a video on Starlight surgery, and this caused a bunch of people to join the server. I was planning on making this video for a while, and I was even going to pick you guys, my subscribers, to show up to the server so I could get some actual footage. Then, for some reason, Lil came out with that video, and people joined the server, despite Lil not covering the content of the server besides basic surgery. So we are going to talk about the expectations you should have, the caution that you should have when interacting with the server, and talk about the funny moments I had while playing. This is going to be two shifts, one that I joined pretty late, and one that I got to experience a fair bit of fun on, where I played some Sec-Off. Anyway, this first shift, we have a massive army of rats that are actually mostly not hostile, which is really, really funny. But while I interact with these rats in the background, I'm going to give you some stats about the server. Starlight is a medium roleplay server. And as far as I can tell, it runs with all of the standard Wizard's Den rules at the moment. I took a look over them, and they don't seem very changed, although I think this will be changed in the future. In addition, most of the players on this server seem to be in it for a mix of roleplay and a mix of gameplay. After all, there are several unique features across two departments. The first unique feature is the surgery, obviously. Lilith had kind of showed that off, so if you haven't seen his video, go see his video. Yeah. The second feature is the super batter, which I'm aware Goop Station has, but I don't have any footage of it at the moment. The issue is that not every station has the super batter at the moment, and it's in a bit of a buggy state, as far as I can tell. So we're not going to have any show off of that. Antagonists, though, that's where we get some unique stuff going on. First of all, the abductor is an antagonist that goes and abducts people to their ship after sleeping them and harvests their organs or something. I haven't actually seen them in action or been the victim of one, and the second I manage to actually get in as an abductor or the vampire, I will be as sure to make a video on it showcasing what they can do. As for the vampire, their objectives are pretty simple. Drink blood and accomplish a couple syndicate standardized objectives. So, a couple unique antagonists and a couple of unique features. Surgery being a major addition that changes the fundamentals of how medical works. And I'm excited to see where the server goes with it. Development seems to be very, very fast at the moment. So there's going to be a lot to see. With all that, preamble crap out of the way, let's get into some actual hilarious crap that happened during these two shifts. Now, the first thing I see and look for in administration duties on a server is how the admins handle an A-help for someone breaking rules, especially in the case of Shit Command. If you didn't see that, don't worry. The quartermaster has been walking around with a python and using it, and after a brief double-checking of the rules and space law and all that crap, I decide to file an A-help against the quartermaster for carrying around syndicate equipment. This, of course, is a direct violation of this rule right here. A security officer carrying around syndicate equipment, or in this case, the quartermaster, as they are required to follow space law. Now, there are a few ways the admin could handle this. They could, of course, decide to not handle it, and do nothing about this. This, I think, would be a very terrible decision to make, and unfortunately really, really common on For example, Wizard's Den with the new admin exodus, which I'm planning to make a video on for those of you who don't know. They could, of course, just insta-give the quartermaster. This is also a bad idea because this really isn't a round-altering issue, and I don't think it should completely and utterly affect the round. This is also an MRP server, so what I would recommend, and what I was hoping for as I made this A-help, is for them to tell me to handle it in character. This would be a good solution. Of course, obviously talk to the quartermaster after the fact, after the round ends, tell him to not do that, but in character for our medium roleplay server is a good way to handle this. Now, what does the admin do? The admin, right here, boinks me and tells me that it was from a failed salvage expedition and to report it to command in character so they can decide what to do about it. I tell them, understood, and proceed to go inform the captain of the fact that the quartermaster is wielding a gigantic goddamn gun. Now, this is the response I was looking for from an administrator of a medium roleplay server. Very nice. Hats off to the admin team. They handled this situation very well. Very well? Well. Now, the quartermaster happens to approach during this whole conversation about me informing the captain, and they claim not a secret, which is not justification for a server rule violation or a space law violation. And that's like, you know, a crime. Now, what I'm hoping for from this captain is for the quartermaster to be jailed for this. Yeah, you heard me right. A full-on jail. Because I have a personal rule, and a rule that I believe all members of each server, security, command alike, should share. Security and command should not get justification for space law. If they violate space law, they should be punished, sometimes even harder, or just as well, for violations of the space laws. This doesn't happen. And of course, the quartermaster, being a moron, decides to hit me with the classic, "Do you really think you can keep weapons out of my hands?" Which, yeah, very mature, very good. I definitely think that you should be in charge of a department. Yep. Now, already, I'm a little bit disappointed at the players. See, part of a server is the admin team, of course. Part of it is the content. But the biggest factor for if I recommend a server or not are the players. If players are routinely going around doing NRP bullshit or playing to win, I will not recommend the server. This is why I didn't recommend Goom Station as hard as I could. And why I very much recommended Trieste. Even in its short playtest, Trieste showcased an incredible amount of high roleplay, funny moments, and generally a situation where everyone was just there to have fun and nobody was playing to quote-unquote win. If a server is playing to win, the server is bad. Very bad. And with that, nothing else of note really happens in this shift, so let's move on to the shift where everything happens, because I managed to play as a cadet. And the way I played as a cadet is sitting at top until the captain showed up, because being a new server, there's nobody that has actual access to the command roles. And the captain shows up. Hello, captain. And, ooh, that's a drippy cloak you got there. That's a real nice cloak. What a cloak is that? Yeah, so here's an interesting thing that the server offers. Heads of staff actually have unique cloaks. And the captain's cloak itself is actually unique in that it has an energy shield attached to it. And if you're on Starlight and playing as captain and don't know about that, here's your warning. Because a lot of people equip it, don't put a battery in, and then are like, why is this working? So, after a brief conversation, I managed to get my cadet access time to see what security is like when you have to deal with vampires, abductors, and all kinds of other crap. Now, the first thing I do is head to security to grab my tools, and of course power's out. Luckily for me, I grabbed a crowbar earlier, and I'm walking into security, having a good old time. I'm gonna go get my equipment and start securing the stuff. Unfortunately for me, nobody told the warden that I was hired to be security. So the warden, in a completely fair and utterly justified statement, beats my ass down with a stun baton. And I'm like, okay, is he training me? Because I know exactly what's going on here, right? Like, I'm just playing along, I'm just chilling out. And it's like, the captain hired me to be security and did not inform the warden, the person in control of said security area, that I was hired to be a sec-off. God fucking damn it. So, of course, I told the warden, you're good, you're fine. Don't worry about it, Mr. Warden. You're all good. It's not your fault, not your problem. He's chill with it, though. He handcuffs me, and I get back to work pretty damn quickly. After some brief wandering, dealing with a couple of trespassers in chem, I meet up with the captain, and I'm still remarking about how goddamn cool that cloak is. It's a really, really cool cloak. It's so cool. And then the captain decides to let me in on a little something. And they give me an offer that if I do a good job, they'll let me wear it. And, oh boy, nothing like that to motivate me. I must perform optimally. I must do the best job I possibly can. After making my way out of sec to gather more materials, a blue alert. Why are we on this higher alert status? No, seriously, we've been green all shift, and while I'm commentating that, I run across this guy, but stop breaking the window, dude, stop, don't do that. He's clearly drunk, and he's saying that's gonna be his office. I'm like, dude, don't break the window. Get approval from the captain, please, Jesus. And well, what the fuck is he doing? Like, you have to understand. I reacted the exact same way. What the fuck are you doing? And he says his own name, and turns out the AI's reason for going blue is the fucking anomaly. Yeah, an anomaly for going blue alert. That's certainly a reason to go blue. I'll say that. After a brief trip away, I stumble upon Chair Guy again. And what the fuck is he doing still? What is he doing? Like, dude just is chair hopping. Why? What? Oh, you have no legs. That makes sense. Let me drag you to bed and get you a wheelchair, buddy. Come on. Let's go. After a brief trip to medical, I walk in to find the friggin' research director died. To meet anomalies. Again. Yeah, that's the average scientist right there. Anyways, after a brief look around for a wheelchair, it turns out they're not in. Despite the fact that you can remove your own legs, you cannot give yourself a wheelchair. Whatever. George, my good friend, my fellow, we cannot get you a wheelchair, but we can give you new legs if you want to do that. You know, we could give you a nice pair of... And he says, nah. Fuck you mean, nah. Yeah. Turns out he doesn't want legs. Also, some friggin' sec-off decides to steal him. Which is like... Dude. Something I've actually learned in sensitivity training one time is... Grabbing a person's, wheelchair for, someone who's disabled... imagine you're picking someone up and like just grabbing them and just moving them wherever. That's pretty much what you're doing when you give when you just grab someone's wheelchair and move them around. Like moving them around, it's agency. Like imagine if someone just picked you up and just threw you wherever, you know? Like pretty much what that sec-off just did. Kind of cool that I get to use some of my sensitivity knowledge and knowledge of dealing with disabled persons to roleplay better in Space Station. But he's starting his own clinic, so I guess he's happy. And now for the fucking strangest thing I've encountered on this server. Fucking RD and a scientist are just down in disposals. Except they're not dead, they're just really, really asleep. Now, I haven't done any research on the antagonists, so I don't know if vampires or abductors or even some unique Cindy item can do this. So, as someone who is completely new to the server, this is extremely confusing. Like, genuinely, what the fuck does this mean? So, we drag him to bed, and after a bit, I just kind of leave. Yeah, like, what do I do about this? As a sec-off, they're just asleep. A solar flare and a blue alert and a quick call from the AI to come directly to dorms. Something seems to be up. Guess I better go take a look. Making my way downtown, walking dorms, faces, pals, and I hear noises from these dorm rooms. Gasping. And, ooh, a corpse of a passenger. Better go get this guy to medical. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck happened with that, but there's also a dead cadet. Not good. Not good at all. After a brief session of interrogation, causation, and some suspicion, we find two suspects. Taichi, the technical assistant, and another technical assistant who will come up later. The AI informs me that technical assistant 1, Taichi, is in engineering at the moment. As such, I walk in and try to find them. Oh, there they are. Hello, Taichi Oathgun. You're under arrest. Now, I anticipate that this guy is going to run away and something, and I'm like, you're under arrest for murder, sir. What? And he's like, what? I didn't do it. And I'm like, all right, well, I still got to handcuff you, all right? And to my surprise, he doesn't even attempt to run away. He doesn't be shit. He doesn't be a pain in the ass. He just lets me cuff him. And let's explain the situation. I'm like, all right, we'll sort this out in security. It's all good, man. But clearly, this guy saw something. Speedrunning his testimony here. He names Oriana as the one that did the murder, as he was going to go cryo because this shift has been pretty boring. Also, while this testimony happens, I want to highlight to the right 5 sec-offs, 6 sec-offs, 4 cadets, and 2 actual sec-offs for one guy doing consensual dismemberments. Yeah. Priorities are in order, clearly. You know, ignoring the fact that we just had a murder, let's instead mess around with one guy deciding to do organs. Like, seriously, what the fuck is going on? We don't need murder. Like, we there's a murder, guys. Why are we committing like 6 sec-offs to one guy? The fuck? Anyway, a couple sec-offs are like, oh, but Taichi saw something. The issue is we can't really prove that he actually did anything or was directly involved. So we're just gonna have to move along and try and find that Oriana guy. To find Oriana, we're going to have to search all of security, all of engineering, the entire station. All of engineer, every single sub... Oh. Huh. I am the greatest sec-off known to man. Nobody can compare to how good I am at being a sec-off. I am amazing. I am the perfect sec-off. I solve every crime. I'm a genius. I then proceed to spend the next couple minutes fighting a rat king and having to deal with the aftermath of one syndicate having 2 implants in them, no mats, a massive horde of dead people coming into medical, having to help heal the dead people in medical, then proceeding to get the materials for the lathe to make the implanters, to get the implants out of the guy with the implants in them. And yes, I counted this. I spent 10 minutes doing this. This is sped up significantly. Incredibly so. This isn't like a complaint about like the server or anything. I just think that it's really, really funny that it took me 10 whole minutes to get this 2 implanters because man never has any goddamn supplies. And if we finally get them, I get the syndicate back into medical, manage to get the implants out. Turns out it's an EMP implant and a freedom implanter. Thank God we got those out. And after all that, they're SSD. God fucking damn it. And for the last case of the video, a very confused atmospherics technician was reported sabotaging distro. He's not. He's a new player trying his best. And I'll use this as an excuse to talk about my general feelings surrounding Starlight. I like it quite a bit. However, couple warnings. Repeating these again. Right now, there are some times when it feels more like an NRP, LRP server, despite the fact that it's MRP. This is a problem that's likely going to be fixed within like a month or even a week. I don't know. Depends on how fast they onboard new admins. Because right now, they weren't really prepared for the massive player tide that Lilton brought. And they're probably also not prepared for the player tide I might be bringing. Sorry, Starlights. Hopefully I'm not making the problem worse. But anyway. This server is really fun, and I really like it. 2 things, though. Gameplay-wise. The TTS is awful. The second you got onto the server, turn that shit off immediately. You'll notice the video does not have TTS. This is because I turned that fucking shit off immediately, because it's AI-generated voices that genuinely make my ears bleed. They are awful, and I hate them, and they sound terrible. That's my own personal opinion, but I really don't think Space Station needs actual formal voicing in-game, especially not with AI. It's just not a good idea. The second thing, the 2 species, the cycladids and the fucking cats, the cycladids might be overpowered, I don't know. They can take more damage for going crits, but that's a who cares thing. I don't care about balance. One thing I do care about, though, the felinids, which are faster by default, which, holy fuck, and their language, which is incredibly cringy. Oh, whoa, speak. Oh my fucking god, it is so fucking cringe. Like, look at the fucking, oh, whoa, shit. Oh god, it's physically fucking painful. God. Like, I don't want to be specious. Like, I can handle, like, you know, the Gaelic accent of the dwarves, the sing of the lizards, the bird noises that the Vox make, or all the million slime puns that every slime player likes to make. I just can't handle the fucking uwu speak. It is so god-awful. It physically hurts. Anyway, cool thing. The captain's thing has an entry barrier, and after I do my work, the captain gives it to me as promised. I'd like to thank my channel members, Sather Lappin, Admiral Obvious, and Waltart. You too can become a channel member at the link below, or just give me a tip for making this content that you guys enjoy. You don't have to, but it does help me out. And with that, I bid you adieu. I do have another shift on Starlight, and I plan on playing more. This has been a very good server, and I highly recommend it. It's a fork, not a spork. Bye now.